So back with another episode of Teleprinter, and if you remember from last time, it's kind of dismantled at the moment. So yeah, that's my task today, is going to be taking this bit and dismantling it and cleaning it, and hopefully getting the figures and letters working. And whilst I'm doing that, Mike and Paul here are going to be working with this. Are you going to talk us through it, Paul? Or?
Yeah, well, the previous board, inconvenient for a metal box because we need to plug the antenna in. This board has the UFL to connect that. So it's, for me, it's reworking this board to support that one.
Cool.
And we've got another little DC to DC converter, which is going to live in this box. So we're adding to the collection of DC to DC converters.
Is this just like you're going to carry on adding more and more power supplies until it runs out of space in that box?
Elongating out here. But the idea of this is a plus or minus 12 volt DC to DC converter. So we are starting to work on the keyboard receive side of things. So what we're looking at doing is using plus or minus 12 volts rather than 80 volts for the keyboard mechanism, and then using the little MC1489 RS232 receiver chip to convert that to the levels that the ESP will understand. So we found a nice cheap chip that'll do it, so why not? So hopefully today we're going to get this electronics all mounted in here and controlling the solenoid for receiving on the keyboard for transmission.
So we'll check in with how we get on. Well, we thought we should give you a progress update on what we've been doing. So I shall hand over first to Mike and Paul to talk about what they've been up to.
Hello. We wanted to verify that this MC1489 chip behaves itself when talking to the ESP. So we've just done a quick little breadboard circuit with a voltage divider, which takes the output from this and converts it into a voltage that is at a level that the ESP likes. We've got
always good
plus or minus 12 volts coming in here, so when we click on that you can see the voltage changes when it's set to plus 12 volts. It defaults to the marked voltage now minus 12 volts when there's no input. And we've got a little program running on the ESP, which again, when we change state, you can see the LED change on the board, which shows that that pin is talking properly to the ESP.
Excellent.
So we can now, so Paul's got a little program running, which just echoes.
Just prints lots of zeros, which hopefully is going to come through, and ones when it gets some signal. Yep.
So proof of concept, it works. So now we can build that into a proto board and mount it in the case. So once we've got it all wired up, we'll then connect it up into the teleprinter and spin the mechanism manually.
Yes, it's a little bit hard without a motor at the moment, isn't it? But
try coding it and see what the output comes into the Arduino.
Nice. So while they've been doing that, I've been taking things apart. More taking things apart. So let me swing around and you can see the results of my taking things apart. So yeah, this is the what's left. There's not very much else to take apart now, and there's a whole load of two springs which are stronger than the others, which are held kept separate from all of the other springs that have been taken off, and there's a spindle that got pulled out of the bearing block and things. These are all kind of in order. The bell cranks that were kind of all the way around the edge of the combination head, so they all need to go back in the correct order when it all gets reassembled. And then these, well, not so much that one, but these ones are the combs. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those for each of the 5 Bordeaux bits, and these will go and get rotated very slightly as the Bordeaux code gets clocked in, which is what selects the correct bell crank to select the correct item on the type head. So yeah, this is all just dismantled. I have actually, if I take this bit, so all of these bell cranks feed through the slots in here, amongst some slots in other places, and then this is the figures and letters switch, which has got a little kind of spring, I don't know how well you can see, that will kind of forces it into one direction or the other. It doesn't seem too bad now I've dismantled it all, but yeah, I can give it a bit of a lubrication, and everything now then needs a whole load of cleaning. So that's my next task, is to get a toothbrush and some degreaser and give all this a clean, and then carefully reassemble it all in the reverse order so that everything goes in the right place, and hopefully that will improve the hopefully that will make the difference. because yeah, it's not the easiest of things to dismantle, and I mean it's just long-winded, and you need to be careful with it, but yeah, that's what I get to do next. We've decided to wrap up for the day, and well, we thought we should let you know where we got to. So Mike, where's the cases? How many power supplies have you managed to cram into that case?
We're up to 3 power supplies now. That should be sufficient for now. We can always fit more if we want them. But we've got 80 volt, 5 volt and 12 volt power supplies, with a 12 volt that'll come in on the back. That's exactly a power brick over there.
Nice.
So that's sufficient to power everything we need in terms of the controller.
Cool.
Paul's been working on the controller.
Old one, and newly arranged one with the newly shaped ESP8266.
That needs some solder.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the MC1489 beside.
Oh, the socket for it and everything.
Yeah.
Is that in case you kill one of them?
Anyone will think I've done that before.
Excellent. So that's coming along quite nicely. You got it all tested, and we showed it earlier, didn't we?
Yes.
It all tested and working. So now it's just sticking it onto some proto board, so it's all soldered up and nice and ready to go in the box.
And then we're going to
boxed up.
Make up a connector for this through to the chocolate blocks there. Although we are being careful to not put 80 volts on pins 2 and 3, in case someone accidentally puts an RS232 terminal in there.
That would be good. Be wise, I should think. So that's what you've been up to, and what I've been up to is lots of cleaning, and then reassembly and oiling, and so this has all been cleaned after it was shown last time, dismantled and all reassembled carefully with the springs all done at kind of 90-degree angles to evenly tension it all, and the little switch to flick between figs and letters, I mean, seems alright, but not sure it's any better than it was. Hopefully it is. Everything's had a good clean and oil though, so that should help matters. Still need to do a bit more reassembly. This spindle needs to go through, and the bearing block, and a couple more bits to do, which we'll get onto next time. And also need to repack these bearings, which I've cleaned most of the ancient World War II grease out of, and similarly on this bearing block. So that'll be the next installment. I will finish packing that in with grease, reassemble all of that, then we can reassemble all of these bits to get us hopefully, let's fingers crossed, get to a working teletype again, teleprinter, and then the electronics is coming along nicely. So that's it for today. Keep your eyes peeled for like and subscribe and all of that. I have no idea where any of this stuff pops up, but yeah, like and subscribe if you want to keep track of what we're up to, and we'll see you next time.